Welcome to 0 Hit Points, everybody, for the week of August 5th. I'm Ryan Miller, and he's cold as ice. He's willing to sacrifice our love. I guess I didn't think that all the way through. It's Matt Amber.
I thought you were going to go with the Dana Carvey thing, where you remember it, because it's during the chop and broccoli thing where he goes, he's talking about how things, he goes, he's cold as ice. Paradise.
That's right. Classic bit.
But also Foreigner, and I don't know if that was a, like, are we getting political now? Is that what that is? Using the band Foreigner? Or
I was referencing our first book club for movies movie.
Oh.
The Foreigner.
The Foreigner. That's jeez.
Such a stupid. How'd that end up being our first movie for that show?
Can we like retroactively, like, can we do something about that? Can you send it to me? I'll re-edit it. I'll re-edit it. Hey, what are we talking about?
Not a 100% horrible film, but still.
But still, this is the video game podcast. We should talk about that.
Yeah, but hey, you're right. We don't even have a lot of time, really. I don't know, depending. I don't see a whole lot of games on the list, but that's because I only put the 2.
Oh, yeah. No, we won't have a lot of games because I have 7,100 brain cells a minute going for that stupid movie that we watched this week. So what is video game?
So you tried to turn it back to video games. I tried to follow and immediately back to movies.
See, you know what? You got to keep up.
I don't think that's what is meant by throw to me. Throw to you? Throw to anybody.
You're gonna throw to me. Wait, that's a different song, and that's
but
not
The Foreigner, really. I think it was just spur of the moment. There were good things about it.
Right place, wrong time.
I listened to, I've mentioned this before, I think, and you do too. Well, in fact, let's go all the way back. We met the guys that do the only podcast about movies. It's a longish name.
Yeah, Only Movie Podcast. Only Movie Pod is their Twitter account.
Okay. Well, we ran into Matthew Kroll, and I think at the time it was Red. There was a few other. I don't believe Shahir Dowd was on the panel. Anyways, we've run into them numerous times at PAX and just made friends that way. And then since, in fact, I want to say, it's not a contest. We were podcasting before they were, but then they started, and then we split off the movie one. In any event, I listened to them, and their first movie is Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, well, we definitely failed in what we were doing, so let's go ahead and delete everything.
Wait.
I have an idea.
Wait. It's hitting me now, and ours is The Foreigner. You're right, we're going on too long about it. It might be appropriate because it's a weird, stupid movie. So.
We're the 0 Hit Points podcast, the podcast where we talk about video games. Hey, Ryan, did you play any video games this week? Because I did. I played Wolfenstein with you. Let's talk about that.
You want to go there first?
It's the only game I played this week.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Hey! We played Wolfenstein Youngblood like we said we would this week.
Yeah.
It's a new Wolfenstein. It's cooperative.
It is. Those are 2 factual facts about it.
Factual facts. It's pretty fun.
I think it's terrifically enjoyable.
Accurate. What's up next?
All right, moving on.
Facts. Video game facts. We need to change the name of the show.
That's right. FAX. Is that all? Is that all we're doing?
All of our reviews should just be like purred happily reviews. We played Wolfenstein Youngblood this week.
And that was the game we played.
It's a video game.
The show is going nowhere fast.
As is appropriate with purred happily. That's a good game. I like it. I'll tell you where I'm at. I'm waiting for it to be better than just co-op Wolfenstein. Because I feel like they took a Wolfenstein, they added co-op to it, and that's what I'm enjoying most right now. That's just automatically cool. We get to play together. Wolfenstein's a good game.
Yeah.
I was very, very interested, as I am with Wolfenstein games, because I feel like this is their strength in the story. And they had that cool trailer where, so I'm not really spoiling anything, even though it's been the best part of the story so far. You're playing B.J. Blazkowicz's daughters, twin daughters, and they are searching for him. They have power suits, but they are young. They haven't killed any Nazis yet.
Right.
And they play that up. They're like, okay, you're Blazkowicz's daughters, but you're
green, baby.
You're green, and they have been trained. Like the game starts out with them being trained on a farm, and Anya's training one, and Uncle somebody's training the other.
Uncle somebody. Yep.
These might be characters from Wolfenstein 2 also, which I never played. So
Electric.
Or it's not. Is it Wolfenstein 2? What was the? They all have subtitles that make this really difficult.
It's the most recent Wolfenstein remake. That first game is the one I played.
We have both played that one.
Yeah.
True. Neither of us have played the new Colossus, I want to say.
Yeah, didn't play that.
Okay, we haven't played that. So, in any event, those characters probably are the ones in here. But while I like the beginning of the story, and I very much like that scene that you do see in the trailer when they kill their first Nazis, and, you know, they sneak up on the first guy, and they're like, okay, let's do this. And they're like, well, we haven't really done this before. And then one of them hits him with some melee weapon, but it doesn't kill him right away. So they're like, oh, shoot, now what do I do? And he's like coming for one of them. And then the other one kind of just spur of the moment shoots his head off, and like literally like the thing explodes all over them.
Yeah.
And one of the girls starts just throwing up immediately. Again, this is from the trailer. Watch the trailer. But it's pulled off really well. It's super funny. Like, I was laughing.
No, we laughed. Yeah, it was good.
Both times I saw it. So
why wouldn't you?
That's all super cool, except they're telling the story in kind of this disjointed manner.
Yeah.
I'm not positive why yet. My only guess is that they wanted to get you into the action of the game quicker. Because even with this conceit, they spend like that first cutscene's not short.
No, it was long.
It might be close to 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was long. Like,
which is fine. Like I said, they're good storytellers, and those things are cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gaining anything by being told in this out of order manner for whatever reason. I think they could have just been linear with it. You know, we're coming up on the daughters. They need to get the suits. They get the suits. They come into contact with this girl that now introduces the hub world, which, now that I say it out loud, that's got to be exactly what it is, because they put you into a mission first before they put you into the hub world.
Yeah,
and the mission teaches you the combat a little bit. So maybe they were, I don't know, but what's the downside of starting the game in the hub world?
I don't know. This is number one. We're probably overthinking that in general.
Sure, I do that.
But I do think that one of the things that you're touching on here, at least for me, is the fact that you and I are both, when it comes to story stuff like this, we're pretty attentive to it. We kind of thread things together and figure it all out. Yeah. The way this is being told and done, it just is not, like, it's confusing to us. I mean, I know me, because we've talked about it while we're playing it. Like, wait, what? Wait, is this that?
It starts with that training in the farm, and then we're in it already wearing power suits, and it didn't really communicate that jump well.
Not at all.
And then you miss this, but after that first mission, in fact, this is a bad co-op thing that they have set up. After that first mission, you left, and when we restarted the mission, it didn't replay the cutscene from where you left. So you haven't even seen this part, but right after the first level, it then jumps back and shows you how you got to the beginning of the first level. And it adds nothing, like I said. It's just...
Why?
Yeah, and you didn't see that part, so I had to catch you up on that when you did rejoin.
And I still didn't miss anything.
Yeah. That story's not bad. I feel like it would be better if it wasn't, told in this weird way so far. But also, we're at the point where the game has opened up.
Yeah.
So the story's become a little bit even harder to follow.
Yeah, because
I don't even know what the main story mission is anymore.
Because there's the side missions. They do not do a great job of after you've picked up. So we opened up the area, and we got there's 4 missions, I think 3 missions that were available right off the bat, along with the main mission. So we grabbed all of them.
Little exclamation points. You go talk to them, you get the mission.
Yeah. So we grabbed all of them, and then we look at our maps and our menus and stuff, and there is no way of telling necessarily. I assume that the story mission is the one that's always on top, and that the other ones I think get illuminated maybe, but I don't know. I think
it's ordering it by level actually, because everything's level.
Oh, that's true. Because then they note the levels too. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? It's
we do not.
We can never know. Maybe it's not optional. Maybe it's it's optional. If you don't talk to the person, then you don't ever have to do it. But if you talk to them, then you're stuck forever.
Or that's the main story, is doing all the side missions. I don't know. I just feel like usually games have a blip next to one of the missions.
Wait, did you just come up with a video game that is all side missions? Did you make an Assassin's Creed game?
Gross. You're just trying to make me think about, what was that? I guess it was Unity. Might have been the last one I played, which I like better than most, but still, yeah, that thing was
dense.
They're bloated. Those games are bloated. Yeah. I hated that part of it.
Okay.
I don't think this game is going to be that.
I don't think so either.
Going to be shorter, hopefully, and
I
mean, it's a cheaper game. They've said it's a budget thing. It's one of those. This is I played this and you didn't. Was it New Blood?
Yeah.
The one that came out between Wolfenstein 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was called a New Blood.
Yes. I think
Old Blood? Might have been Old
the
Blood.
Old Blood. The Old Blood.
I think it was the Old
Yeah,
Blood.
yeah. I'm with you now. I'll agree to anything.
The age of the blood
Blood age
has been determined. This is one of those.
You are
it comes
not
out in
the
between.
father.
It's a smaller game. And like that game, it's a little blank in the middle. Like, there's not a lot of contextualization. And I feel like this has been something that Wolfenstein especially has done well. Like, you're running through the world, things are happening that affect the story, you're getting dialogue that's moving you on to the next piece. This one's kind of just like you're going to save a girl, and then you go to these levels that you'll be returning to numerous times because the missions make you do different things, much like Destiny, again, make you do different things in the same area.
Right.
Doesn't communicate the story real well, though, like, or how that's fitting into the overall narrative.
Which,
like,
ironically, also seems to be an issue that may have happened during Destiny's time in our hands.
Well, to some extent, that's open world games, and I get that, especially multiplayer games. I remember going to a panel at PAX once that was on like story and video games, except it was on player generated story or something like that, which I didn't kind of clue in on. I guess I would have if I would have. But the whole entire panel ended up being about the story that players create, or how do you give players the tools to create their own story. And I'm like, oh, well, they're not talking about the function. They're not talking about like the higher level function of narrative in a game. They're talking about how the player itself can create one and how that's valuable and where that fits in. So I ended up leaving that panel. But I believe this might be kind of one of those. It's definitely stronger on the narrative side, and if we ever run into the main story mission stuff,
we might figure it out.
Yeah, but we're still kind of early on in the game, so I guess.
Yeah, no, and I think the narrative stuff is fine. It's entertaining. It's Wolfenstein. It's doing all the things that I kind of expect. I will say, in terms of cost, you mentioned that it being a budget game. I didn't pay for this game. You paid for this game, and then I downloaded the trial, and then you invited me, and then the game saves all my progress. And okay, cool. So
it does appear to be working great so far.
Yeah, I haven't had any connectivity issues or anything. It's actually booted.
It saves your progress. It saved your currency and stuff too. I guess
everything I've unlocked, all that stuff is there. So
you can't get achievements, unfortunately.
It appears I cannot.
So this situation would never work in reverse.
Right. No, it would be just a nightmare, a living nightmare for you.
I just would have bought it already.
Yeah, you would have. Which would have just been infuriating to yourself. Like you would have been
to you.
No, you would
like, hey, I got you a buddy pass, and I'm like, cool, bought it. Thanks. Get another buddy.
Yeah, and then I would have said, no, you're taking this buddy pass anyways. I think the gunplay is fine. All the
no, it's all good.
All the gameplay is there. The biggest issue I have right now is the dialogue and the voice acting are second to a lot. Most to almost all. Not great. And I am in my free time. I'm what you would say a connoisseur of the words. I'm going to make you bleep.
Yes, no, I understand you won't be able to do this section without
so
properly illustrating.
The fact that the characters are seriously constantly going like, yeah, man, we're gonna do this. Oh, my, kicking their off and right there, you. Like every other thing. Yeah, sister, you're cool. All right, high five. Yeah, crap. Like everything they say is like when you get hurt. Come down! Oh,
okay, all right, okay. You're not exaggerating, but I get the idea.
Yeah. It's really obnoxious, and it's not like the thing is, it's not done in a funny way. It's done trying to be funny, but it's so poorly done that it's like. To me, it sounds like somebody was not allowed to say the F word when they were a kid, and they got their friends together and they were like, okay, everybody, let's just say a lot of Fs. Okay, 1, 2, 3, F. And then everybody was like, F, 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 G, L, F, F. And they made the video game based off of that dialogue. They were, somebody found that kid, that tape they made as a kid, and they were like, oh man, this could be a Wolfenstein game.
Yeah, so, content warning on that. You know what's funny?
I thought it was too. Thanks.
I don't find it as bothersome as you. I think they're playing a character. They're definitely because they have like they this takes place in liberated America.
Oh yeah,
they're definitely backwoods,
and they're definitely BJ's kids.
Yes, they're hicks for
they are definitely hicks.
Lack of a way better term, but I don't know if I'm disagreeing with the quality. I think maybe that's just adding, like it just kind of makes. It is part of the picture or something. I don't know. It's working for me somehow. So
there's like I can sort of see how the B movie aspect of it fits here.
That's it. There you go. Yeah.
It's just that there is something even for me, and this is coming from the guy who just last week was talking about how much he loves the Toxic Avenger and Class of Nuke 'Em High.
That's right.
This is like there's something just slightly off about it. It's like. Maybe that's it. It's like they wrote a B movie and they're trying to be a B movie, but like unironically. I don't know.
No. Speaking of last week's show, we did Flash Gordon, right? I'm sorry, Book Club for Movies, where we talked about that. You can't purposefully make a cult classic. Nobody sat out on the Flash Gordon before cult classics were really a term to make that type of movie, but they did set out to make a B movie, and they knew what they were doing. Again, listen to the show. It was a fun discussion. I think what you're saying is that, and this actually fits for Wolfenstein, they very much try to do that. They're tongue-in-cheek. I think so,
yeah.
Yeah, and when that doesn't land, it's horribly noticeable, and I think you're noticing that. Yeah,
and I think that's the problem for me is more than anything, because there have been parts like I've laughed at. There have been good bits of dialogue.
You tell me you didn't love the throwing up part again. Super fun.
It was funny.
I got some of his brain in my mouth.
Yeah, no, it's just I love it. Yeah, it's just that some of that dialogue is just it's awful, and it's just not good dialogue too. And I think that's part of it. Is that.
And I don't think you're wrong.
If it's like there's a way to do bad dialogue, and I feel like this is not dialogue. This isn't just bad dialogue; it's dialogue done bad.
I'm gonna have to think about that for a bit.
Oh, come on, think about it.
It's like the deepest thought
I may have ever pooped out on a recording.
I'm sure we'll get deeper on the last half of the show. All right, well.
Name of your sex.
I'm still liking it. I'm still looking forward to every minute we're going to play of it.
I'm really looking forward to it. We should, I think we're probably going to have it finished up by next week.
We thought we'd have it finished up by possibly today. And had I been able to play some yesterday, I guess maybe we could have.
Well, also, there was a whole Nightmare of Life yesterday.
That's right. You are. We didn't even mention why I said you were cold as ice. You're apparently dealing with all sorts of fun stuff in your homicile.
Yeah, my homicile. It's the worst. And also, my hetero life mate, Silent Beth, aforenamed name because you've never heard her speak on the show. I don't think. She's gone for the week, so I definitely will have time to play video game this week. Only that game, though. I cannot play any other video game.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure you have movies to watch as well.
So many.
I feel like that's usually what ends up happening, too. You get a lot of time. Actually, you know what? That's usually what happens to me, too. Whenever my wife heads out for a while, I'm like, I'm going to play a ton of games. I play a ton of a game, maybe. In fact, Red Dead, I think it's been it. And then I'm like, but also there's these things I've been wanting to watch.
You know what I'm going to watch this week? I'm gonna watch Avengers.
Yeah, look forward to an update on that. I'm moving a little quicker than I thought I would. We're on Infinity War.
We are just awful at this show today. Good Lord.
The video game show.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay, I do think we're gonna finish Return to Cathal, Youngblood, and Stins. The twins.
Wolfenstein.
The twins. Twins attack the Nazis. That game. Twins Academy Nazis. We'll have that one done next week. I think by next week.
We'll try.
It's my solemn oath to no one that I will do something somewhere.
Okay, now you're going too far. An update on Dr. Mario World, you say?
I would love one. I have never been asking for anything more.
I have finished all 200 levels. They promised there will be more. What?
How do you have hemorrhoids?
Toilet game, I get it. That's a good one. No. That's not a funny question for somebody who's recently been upping his protein intake like somebody's business.
It's not a funny question when you're standing here talking to somebody who doesn't know that they are talking about themselves because my bum hurts because I got a roid. Clear enough for ya? We're back to the medical podcast.
So yes, this is
thrombose
on the Dr. Mario World, the hemorrhoidic phone game I have.
It's thrombosing. Tell me about it.
It is Still scratching that itch. I am enjoying it. It's the thing I go to besides, solitaire.
Hemorrhoid jokes. It's scratching that itch. Come on.
That was unintentional, I'll have you know. Much like
hemorrhoids? Yeah.
Yes. I got all 200 levels done, so now I'm going back and trying to get 3-star on a lot of them. It's kind of hitting that sweet spot, now that I've figured out how to actually play that game.
200 levels later, you're like, yeah, I can do it all again.
I think it's some decent fun. It's sloppier than I would like still. I think I would still enjoy some designed puzzles. There are some that are more like that than others, but I think because they want you to fail a bunch and make some purchases on power-ups that help you fail less, I think it's a little more fungible than I would like. The thing it does do, though, when you're failing, it's got minimum 2 mechanics to pat you on the head, essentially is what it is.
Aww.
Yeah, it will give you one of those power-ups for free. It'll be like, here's some power-ups for this super hard level, but it only does that if you failed it numerous times. So it's, it might as well say, for this level that's apparently super hard for you. Other people didn't have this issue, but here you go.
Here you go, baby!
The other thing it does is more insulting, is just out of nowhere, and it's more insulting because it's not surfaced, and you probably wouldn't notice unless you're just like, oh man, I got through it that time. Like I said last week, the characters have ults. It will make those super easy to get out of nowhere.
Sure.
Because you get those by making matches. So just out of nowhere, you'll get 5 ults in a game. It just powers up super fast, and it's like, thanks. That I guess.
No, it's fun. That's it's one of those things that I don't know if you noticed it at all, but it happens with fighting games.
I know a lot of games do it. Yeah, it has a name. Even.
Really noticeable for me in MK11, where
really?
Yeah, if you lose maybe twice in a row on a hard, maybe even just once, but if you lose against a hard or very hard or whatever opponent, the next time you play them in the tower, they will be brain dead.
Huh?
Yeah,
it can be done well, and it can be appreciated a lot of the time.
I don't not appreciate it. It's just, I like I said, it's just noticeable in certain situations. That's all.
I think without fail, a better game doesn't do that. Let's put it that way. I know that's a hard problem to solve, and I definitely can't solve it. Like I said, I'm not a game designer. But number one.
Well, maybe you should be. Again,
we offer no solutions or real constructive criticism on this show. But I feel like I played better games that find a better way around that. That's a cop-out in a way, but...
No, it's fine. I mean, look, you're not a game developer. How could you be?
Hey, it's Dr. Mario World.
That's right.
It's good enough for the developers.
It's good enough for the Goonies.
And for me so far. So
yeah, there you go. Good enough for you, good enough for the developers, good enough for the Goonies. So it's good enough for you, listeners.
C is for cookie? I feel like that was the only reference you didn't make with that yet.
I didn't, but I'm glad you did.
And it's good enough for me. Okay. Yeah. That's all I got. All of the games.
Terrific.
You want to hear these news things?
I want to hear. I'm curious what you pulled. I'm curious. There's been some things. I've been in the news. I've been looking. I've been reading. I've been watching.
You've been in the news?
I've been engaged. Well, okay, calm down.
I didn't pull that headline. Whatever it was.
Not under my. Well, it's not under my real name, so don't look. But
maybe I did pull it.
Okay,
then.
Let's go ahead and I'm going to shut up, and you're going to go talk.
The biggest news item this week, and apparently it's so big that I didn't even see any headlines about it.
I did not.
Been news this week.
This is totally not true. I am taking myself out of this equation. That is not me.
No, this definitely isn't you.
No, okay, good. It is not.
Spec Ops has been confirmed for Modern Warfare. The
new
Modern Warfare.
So what you're saying is I have to get the new Modern Warfare now.
I will get it day one, and I will love me some Spec Ops.
Well, because that's the only reason I'd get it is because you're going to.
So yeah, if you wanted, you could participate.
I never played Spec Ops, and you've told me.
Oh man!
Okay, that's
Best
not true. We did it
been.
Once or twice, but I've never spent time with it. So now I am amped. I'm pumped.
Well, we have precious little information on it, I think. And this is coming from a GameSpot article. It says, publisher Activision calls Spec Ops an all-new group of strategic co-op missions that anyone can play regardless of skill level, which is a strange descriptor for Spec Ops, given how difficult... I mean, the way they were set up before was that you got stars based on difficulty. I think you only got 3 stars if you played on the hardest difficulty. That was like the only thing that mattered. So, strange statement for, I feel like, a mode that pedaled in hard difficulty, but it wouldn't take much, honestly. Just the conceit is what I like. Just these short bursts of mission, Call of Duty style, were super enjoyable. So
cool.
Very much looking forward to that.
I will look forward to it.
This might be your news item, since you go by a different name elsewhere, it seems. Ninja is leaving Twitch and will start streaming on Mixer.
I can neither confirm nor deny that's me.
Dang. I thought I had you. I thought I was coming at this from an angle that you would have to finally
Unfortunately,
admit.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Right. So you can't confirm, but you also can't deny. Okay.
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
Ninja's leaving Twitch for Mixer. I'm less qualified to talk about this than you are, but we're both fairly unqualified.
I like how you qualified that, though.
You're... I did qualify that statement, actually. You're
Correct.
Right. Does that make us more qualified?
Now we are, yes.
Okay.
Doubly so.
I feel like this is a big thing. People like... Actually, you know what? Okay. This is the only way I can come at this from. I know Ninja is huge. Don't get me wrong. I'm not that out of touch here. I know Twitch is a thing. I've heard of that. We've used it from time to time. I'm still amazed at how much of a different landscape this is, wherein people like Ninja have logos, contracts, and commercials.
Yeah.
Like very, I mean, the humor is hit and miss, but very professionally made commercials about switching streaming platforms. And in that commercial, he talks about falling in love with streaming, not gaming, streaming. I'm old. We've established this.
Yes.
It's still just a weirdness. Like the world we live in now is just a little bit strange still. Some of it can still just seem different than it's ever been.
Sure.
Dumb statement.
You're old.
But that's all I got for this thing. I figured it was a big thing. I don't know if you have any additional insight or...
It's a big deal. I mean, you definitely know that Microsoft brought a huge dump truck of money to him.
Dude is getting paid. I mean, was already getting paid.
That guy was, he was getting a nuts amount of money before, and now he's getting double nuts. That guy is soon enough going to be able to party with Bill Gates cash-wise, I'm sure.
Can he not? Yeah, no, I'm sure. Bill Gates has kids. He likes games.
No, I mean financially. Like, they're not in the same circle.
Oh, like in the parties that they don't want us to know about.
Yes, correct. Sure. Yeah, I get a very midsummer thing in my head. Anyways, yeah, no, it's a big deal, you know, and there are going to be other streamers that are going to follow him, and who else is Microsoft going to quote unquote poach? You know, Twitch. I think this is really funny and fascinating, coming off the heels of the Elite, whatever her name was, that whole thing.
I do not know.
Where, well, the girl that the cat situation thing.
Alita battle. Oh,
yeah. And the fact that people kind of went, you know, probably overboard on screaming about anything, but the fact that Twitch did nothing, I think, frustrated a lot of people. And so that, and then having him leave on the heels of that, you gotta assume that some people are trying to leave a ship that is having murky waters right now. There's enough about Twitch's issues, you know, they're will they, won't they, on who they're gonna.
Well, Twitch is one of those platforms that's, I mean, kind of, this is again weird saying this, so old that they've always had to toe the line. Like, you know, they're aware, but they can only do so. It's like the League of Legends conundrum almost, right? Like, they say and will always say that this stuff is bad, and these people, they won't say these people are garbage, but they'll say what they need to say, so they either don't get sued or so they get some good people using their service, but they're afraid to altogether alienate or delete those type of people or those types of things altogether for whatever reason, be it money or more money.
It's money. Well, no, you know what? It might be more money. I don't know. Either way.
See, you can't tell.
I can't tell.
Mixer, on the other hand, has been founded, and we're very vocal about founding themselves on
money.
On money. That's true. The moment they start making money, let's see what happens. But on better regulations, nicer, I guess more stringent policies, but also more stringent policing of those policies type thing. I don't know. It's easier when you start like that from the beginning. Action to action, yeah, type thing. This is my next question. All right, let me have it. I'll answer it for you right here and now. You already last week talked about, I think it was last week, No, I guess it was a couple weeks. I don't know, when the girl threw the cat.
Yeah.
Seemed very disillusioned with Twitch.
Yeah.
I've kind of always liked Mixer anyways, because they do have some features. In fact, they have a co-streaming feature that we could probably use to finally do our live shows we've been talking about forever without trying to actually figure out the feed stuff.
You're talking gibberish.
But I like the immediacy of it too. I don't know if Twitch has updated since, but Mixer has always had a better, like, you can interact more immediately with the people that are watching. Do we want to switch to Mixer? Are we the next big land?
You know, I think we could be, and I'll tell you why. Because when it comes to real heavy hitters and making a difference, making a dent, when we take off from Twitch, that thing is going to sink like a stone, son. That shit going to the bottom of the ocean.
It'll be Dead by Daylight.
What up,
That was the game you played sometime. That's Twitch and Ninja.
Twitch Ninja.
I've got one more thing.
Okay, break it down.
And I'm going to give you full veto power on this thing, because it's. I don't know if you've looked at the agenda, which is down because Evernote apparently went offline, which I love. I love that they didn't go offline and not let me stay on the page I was on, because since I wasn't refreshing, they just went offline and canceled what I was doing.
That's really useful.
So they're the best. There was a lot of mass shootings over the weekend.
A number of them.
Yeah. I hesitated at a lot of, and kept it, because that could be descriptive of one, and yet there were two. And it's been addressed, amazingly enough, by the current administration.
Mm-hmm.
You going to veto this yet?
No.
All right. And again, video games have come up, but I don't even want to start with the Trump conversation with this thing. Like, for one, I don't believe he's up there because he wants to be. Yeah, I'll give him all the credit in the world, which is to say that he acted 1% uncharacteristically presidential for a little bit here. But again, I don't think he wanted to. Like, I think if he were left to his own devices, to his own whims and whatever druthers, I don't think he'd be up there. Like, I don't think he's into that stuff. Like, we've seen him interact with humans before. He doesn't like them. Right?
Well, he's not one of them, so he clearly, that's
might be it.
Part of the issue.
So there's that, but I also don't want to get anywhere near politicizing this thing, because I also hate when that's the first thing out of somebody's mouth with this stuff. And even if it's from different sides, and there are obviously issues here that need to be addressed and haven't been, and people are losing hope because of that.
You're speaking truth, though, man.
I just don't want to be part of that, even if it's on the end that's like, I don't want to. There's always so many out there that are like, condolences, our hearts go out, but gun control. And that's, both sides, but no gun control type thing. Like, it always sickens me that that's the first thing out of people's mouth with, without hesitation, or even before the whole condolences thing,
Right.
So I don't even want to get anywhere near that stuff, really. All you want to say is that you're doing your part, or you're continuing to do your part, but then that's where it gets hazy, because what is your part? And your part kind of is that other stuff. And our part kind of is where video games have been scapegoated again. He got up, President Trump got up and did an address, whatever day it was. I don't know. To be honest, I'm so unplugged that I didn't know. I had heard, I think on Facebook, I have a sister-in-law that lives in Ohio, and she, like, the Facebook has the marked as safe thing that they do now.
Yeah.
She marked herself as safe, and I'm like, oh, from what? I don't Twitter as much anymore. Like, I've been so unplugged that I didn't know. I didn't know there were two until I plugged in this
there
morning.
were three.
Were there three? Great, see?
Yeah, I think so.
But then, obviously, the next thing I see is that in that address, and this is what I love about it. Are you ready? And again, stop me anytime.
You're on a roll, man. Go, go, go.
For the news segment, did you hear about this, and or Ryan Springs news on Matt? What a one to spring on Matt, huh?
Yeah, hit me up.
Okay.
Let's hear this dumb idiot and his moron yak.
He gets up there, and video games wasn't the only scapegoat. but here they are in order. Social media did nothing, he says. There needs to be a way to detect, because of course these guys all had stuff out on social media. 8chan is out there, I guess, is part of this, which it's double the 4chan. So what did you think was going to happen? Honestly. He says social media did nothing. And again, this is all stupid because I know he's not up there because he wants to be. I know he's not saying stuff that he has written. I know he's not speaking words that he believes for the most part.
To be fair, he's probably not actually speaking words that he's comprehending.
Also that, yeah, no, like seriously, have you seen him speak off the cuff?
He's just reading words and
it's unintelligible a lot of the time.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. The guy has no... There is nothing there. There's nothing there.
And we're trying, I'm trying to give him a little bit of credit. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like that's just a losing battle, but...
That is, all the time.
That he blames social media after he participates in all of the scapegoating that they did when social media did police this kind of stuff. Like they banned Alex Jones and they didn't ban him. I know there was pressure to ban him for hate speech or incitation or whatever it was, right? There was a big conservative movement that social media was censorship or whatever they... Oh, man, it got so convoluted at some point. But the fact that now that's the problem. They didn't censor enough. Social media didn't do enough. So that was the first scapegoat. Scapegoat number 2, it was video games. And the terminology he used was that it was too easy for the gunmen to surround themselves with violent video games. Okay. He's not wrong, but he's also not actually talking about why. And we'll get there because I feel like that's the bigger issue we're dealing with here now. That's our bigger...
Well, I mean, but that's a stupid thing to say for anybody. That's beyond ignorant, because all you're saying is who isn't? There is nobody who isn't. I mean, yeah, you're third world country. Maybe it's not a video game. No, it's the guy who actually is, killing somebody. I don't know. It becomes a stupid conversation in my opinion, because it's stuff like this, all of this stuff, he's going to come up with everything he can, every possible thing he can pile onto this to take away from last week's news and the week before that and the week before that. And he does it every week.
How that works.
Every week. And again, Jeffrey Epstein can probably prove outright that he is a pedophile. We all know that he is likely a pedophile. But the point here is you can't go like talking about what he's saying about video games. Who cares? It's nothing that hasn't been said before. That Jack, what's his name, that got kicked out of the bar. He tried all this stuff too. Coming from this president means nothing. It's a talking point to keep other more important things from coming to light.
This is the thing. He might not even believe that thing. He might not even believe this huge conservative talking point that won't ever go away because they don't know.
He doesn't care.
Also that, yeah. So whatever. Still, that's still there. He then goes on to blame mental illness, of course. Like there needs to be mental illness reform, which
But go ahead and keep worrying about Bernie and going to Canada.
Which he's not. Which isn't a false statement, really. Like the discussion around mental illness is stupid since the 60s, right?
No, but this is it's an awful place to put it. It's a garbage place to put it, because once again it takes the focus away from the guy who made a decision and puts it in the hands of somebody who you have
but
mental illness.
It's a mentally ill guy. Like it's in the conversation, but
sure, but it's the way he's using it is not. He's using it as it is literally a scapegoat. Yeah, like you're saying.
To quote him exactly, because you're right, it's the way he's using it. He says, mental illness and hatred pulls the trigger, not the gun.
Yeah. He's very George Bushing it.
But in any event, he then goes on to talk about, he does actually mention access to firearms, confiscation of firearms. He, of course, talks about what he's done and on all this stuff and whatever. Like, that's all big game talk as far as I'm concerned. Like, conservatives everywhere can say, oh, yes, there is some amount of gun control that we agree with, but it's not nearly as bipartisan as he tries to make it out to be the number of times he says that word in this. And in any event, what I'm getting at, nowhere in any of that is talk of parents or, why they were able to surround themselves with those video games or stuff like that.
I mean, again, it's all discretion. It's a completely parental choice.
Exactly. It's the parents, right? Like the fact that a parent can surround their child with violent video games. Who's blaming the video games at that point?
No, and this has been one of my biggest issues with it, and I've said this since before I was a parent. It's not, parents bear responsibility for this stuff as well. If you're going to be a parent, be a parent. That means know what your kids are doing. Take some time and find out, what is your game playing? What is your game doing? Are you killing everybody in the game? Cool. Can I do it with you? All right, fun. Hey, look, let's kill that hooker together, son. All right, Dad. Yay, Mom. Let's go ahead and murder those people. It's fine. That's all good. But, it's be aware. Be aware of what your kids are watching and playing. And I'm not saying stop them, but at least understand who your kids are. Because
you make a crazy point that if you do it with them, that's probably already. Although some of the parents participating with their children in that might not help things. Let's put it that way.
Sure, but I mean, in those situations, the games are not the problem.
Exactly. Well, still, yes, that's yeah. That's just. I think we do have a part, and I think that's it. Like, it's just. I'll even go as far as to say that some video games are violent. And
whoa,
badly violent. Like I know freedom of speech, and I know they're protected, and I know they should be. But yeah, sure, okay. Like there are a lot of movies that I don't watch for the same reason.
Sure, I mean,
although violence not usually one of them.
You know what? But that's all taste. You're right. It's all.
I don't watch them with my kid. I don't give them to my kid.
Well, sure.
I don't know.
Call
me crazy.
Okay, I'm not. Look, it's. This is one of those things where you, and maybe just because it's, you just haven't considered it. There are certainly, for as much as you may not want to agree with it, there are levels of kids way younger than your kids that can handle.
Oh no,
watching.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Are you kidding? I'm talking with one.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of my point is that like it's. Just being involved, that's the important part. You've got things that, like your kids hang out with me as a kid, we wouldn't be friends. You would be very upset with my father. And my dad would be very much like hey, that's cool. There's the door.
Hey, I never would have seen my first PG-13 Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade if it weren't for my friend Nick.
See?
And his family that showed those movies to the kid that wasn't supposed to watch them.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't even know if I wasn't supposed to watch that, but it was the most adult movie I had seen up to that point. So. And look at me now.
Now you've seen other adult movies.
What?
Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That was fairly adult. So that's honestly it. All this news item said was it was one word. And again, Evernote's down, but it said sigh. So
Yep.
I'm sorry. I am literally myself sorry. I think that's part of this. We live in this world together, and I think we all share part of the blame to some extent. Depending on what you do and how you do it, and all that. So I'll continue to do my best, I guess. We will continue to talk about these things when they happen again with a sigh, I guess.
Bye!
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. To Zero Hit Points. We are on zerohitpoints.com. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. You can email us at podcast@zerohitpoints.com and talk about literally anything, and we'll bring it up. Our comeback on whatever day it is for Book Club for Movies this week, where we are doing a ghost story. Not just any ghost story.
The movie.
The literal movie, title of the movie.
A ghost story. Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
A ghost story.
Got it.
And yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I knew so very little about this thing.
Also,
Matt knew even less.
I did.
So it was a pleasant, I guess we'll see if
it was certainly a discussion that'll happen.
It was a surprise. It will be a discussion. So that's sometime this week. Thank you. Thank you to all. Be safe out there.
We love you.
Bye.